churches. When I know I was in Waco once, and the Klan leader said, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to blow your head off." The police wouldn't do anything. You know, I mean, that's my issue. But now the Klan's like a few hundred, guys missing their teeth. And, and then the Democrats like Senator Byrd, Grand Dragons. This is the media, the culture, the Pentagon, everything behind the takedown like Red Dawn of this country. And I know most Hispanics and Hispanic Americans are against this. I know you're talking to them. I don't see how the establishment can get away with this.
Yes, I am a Christian, and yes, I am a bit of a nationalist, but I'm a racially inclusive person that's always made these efforts, and they're not going to give, the enemy is not going to give you or I any credit whatsoever for anything along the truth of our abilities to work with other Americans, because they're looking at this like a war, and they don't mind lying for the goals of their war. But in that war out there today, we're 48 hours away from a very important election in Tennessee, where incumbent U.S. Senator Lamar Alexander, who has voted with Obama 62% of the time, is also one of the Gang of Eight immigration reform amnesty voters, is in a narrow race with Joe Carr, who's closed the race on him. And we're talking to voters in Tennessee, Alex, and a lot of, after I was on the show last week, a lot of Alex Jones Show supporters came forward at our website, allipac.us. Your viewers are helping with phone calls right now in Tennessee. They're helping with donations to fund our auto call, which was part of the way that we defeated Eric Cantor. And they showed up at several of the protests at Tennessee and Michigan last week. So, Alex, you have a very large audience that is primed on this issue and ready to take the appropriate action. And I want all of my supporters to know that while I don't agree with everything you say, Alex, and you certainly don't agree with everything that I say, you get more information about what's really happening in this country, especially on the issue of illegal immigration, on InfoWars and Alex Jones Show than in an hour than you get in a month on the mainstream media.
Well, I appreciate that statement. But look, it's so bold. Let me ask you this. I know you said it was on a knife's edge, basically, a few weeks ago when you were on, which way this would go. But, I mean, what does the elite plan to do, collapsing the collapsed third world into us? I mean, why does the elite want to wreck the country so bad? I know they want cheap labor and to vote for gun control, but this doesn't help Latin America. It doesn't help anybody. It destroys the industrial base even further. I see polls turning against Obama on this front. What's the score right now in this game?
Well, we can always speculate about the motivations of the constellation of different enemies against the United States that are at work here, both from abroad and within. The main thing is that whether we have different opinions on that, let's unify around the existing Constitution and the existing border and immigration laws. If you support the current Constitution of the United States and the existing border and immigration laws designed to protect American workers and taxpayers and Americans' lives from illegal immigrants or anybody from outside the country that would come here and cause us harm in any way, then you're with us. We're together, white, black, Hispanic, Christian, Jewish, agnostic. We are together on those principles. And one of the things I'll mention that I think the elites hate is people that operate on a basis of principles, on a basis of fairness, on some type of consideration other than what you mentioned in the lead into this segment, Alex. They want to return to the blue-blooded aristocracy, kings and queens rule of the people. And that's why you find so many billionaires like George Soros and Michael Bloomberg and Rupert Murdoch all singing the same immigration reform amnesty. Let's flood the United States with perpetual waves of tens of millions of illegal immigrants until the people that had built this and sustained this country for 200 years can't even look out their window without bumping heads with somebody fresh to the country there illegally. They're doing this. They're all on the same page. And we, the people, the vast majority of the United States, despite what you've heard in some of the designer polls by these billionaires, the vast majority of Americans want our existing laws enforced, and they want the illegals to go home. And that's what we want. And on the national battle, a lot of it's going to depend on what happens in 48 hours. In 48 hours, if Senator Lamar Alexander loses his seat, if ALIPAC is able to afford to be able to complete this very expensive auto call that we're running out of funds on right now, if we can get more people, free volunteers, on the phone with us over the next 48 hours, if we can take down Lamar Alexander despite some dirty tricks that your audience might find interesting, that he's trying to deploy to hold on to power corruptly, if we can take him down, it will send a complete ripple through the ranks of the elites. We've already destroyed their impression of invulnerability in the House by defeating Eric Cantor. If we destroy that impression of invulnerability of the elites, despite Lamar Alexander's $5 or $6 million advantage over us in the Senate, it will allow us to turn the tide on this battle. If Lamar wins, it will send the message that you can defy 80% of your Republican constituents. You can vote with Obama to pass amnesty that would harm American workers, harm American taxpayers, allow tens of millions of illegals to form a new voting bloc to override American decisions in the future. You can do all of this and walk right back into D.C. So we've got 48 hours.
So tell folks who they vote for in Tennessee.
Vote Carr, not Lamar. Joe Carr needs all the volunteers and all the donations he can get in the next 48 hours. Joe Carr is within a few percent points of Lamar Alexander. Over at allipac.us, we need volunteers and donors for our auto calls and our volunteer calls in this very, very close race.
Absolutely. Lamar Alexander was involved in the North American Union. He's involved in every horrible thing. I mean, he's literally like Harry Reid.
Well, he's got an ace up his sleeve. He's got a vote splitter named Dr. George Flynn out of Memphis on the ballot, simply for the purpose of splitting off enough votes.
Yeah, that's right. People got to vote for Carr. We'll be right back.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Are you happy doing your laundry with perfume detergents that irritate your skin? Are you happy washing your hands with stinking fragrances that gives your skin rashes? Are you happy paying new, higher prices for smaller boxes? Find your happiness today with our 1 to 4 year supply of pure soaps or our 1 to 2 month sampler with bar soap, shampoo, laundry, and dish soap at 5starsoap.com. You deserve the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com.
This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water. For your preparedness storage or your home kitchen, purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.
When an emergency happens, you'll be left to fend for yourself and your family. An outbreak of contagious disease can happen anywhere, and the threat of bioterrorism is always at hand. Because we're faced with more diseases than ever before, we need a better solution than ever before. Fortunately, there's a simple, effective way to protect yourself. Supernatural Silver offers a safe and effective means of fighting pathogens and can help defeat the root of these problems. Supernatural Silver is effective against more than 500 different disease-causing pathogens without encouraging drug resistance and without side effects. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and give you and your loved ones a fighting chance. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code October 2013 for 20% off your entire order and like us on Facebook.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, think about how open America has been. No other country has more welfare for illegals or legals. No country has borders this open. And then I can't go anywhere in Asia or Latin America and get 1/10 the benefits. I mean, it's a joke. And then we do all this, and the Democratic Party goes, white people are bad. And Michael Moore says anybody that owns guns is a racist white person hiding in the woods afraid of black people. When blacks are the biggest victims of gun control. If you look it up. I mean, it just makes me so angry how nasty the Democratic Party is and how nasty the rhinos are. Lamar Alexander, Boehner, all of them. John McCain. There's got to be election fraud to keep them in. But bottom line, we need to get rid of Alexander tomorrow. You need to vote for Carr, not for the other vote splitter. I've been following that race. There is election fraud, but a grassroots movement can overpower those machines. They can only steal it with small percentages, according to all the voting experts, PhDs, Bev Harris, you name it, who've been on here. William Geen of AliPac.com. Other key points you'd like to make before this segment ends?
Last week, you and your viewers had a big interest in our national protest against illegal immigration that's occurring on overpasses, intersections, outside Mexican consulates and state houses across the country. Our next synchronized national wave is going to be on October 24th and 25th. But long before we get there, there are going to be protests occurring all across the country, and we're keeping the master list of those at alipac.us. That's ALIPAC.us, and the people that get on our email alerts will receive a direct copy of that. Now, we do have Facebook events and pages that we're using, but everyone realize that it's a one-way mirror on Facebook, and on the other side of that, the enemies, our enemies and the enemies of America are watching every keystroke and everything about us, and we can't rely on them for the communication. So email alerts are the main ways that we're coordinating those, and we'd like to have...
That's right. We always use enemy platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Google to reach people, to drive and build our own separate platforms, because they've openly been censoring us and openly using the systems to combat liberty. But the good news is there's so many of us on Facebook and Twitter that we're beginning to overpower them.
That's true. And also the Power of Talk radio shows combined with the internet has entered a new phase after we saw 5,000 to 10,000 Americans like us brought out against illegal immigration in Boston 2 weeks ago. You were talking about maybe doing one near the border, something like that. And if you did that, Alex, or if you did one on October 24th, 25th, or before then, we'd be glad to support it. I'd be glad to fly in to be a part of it. Especially if you can get, I'm a big fan of Gerald Celente. I'm not sure if you can get him on any event for you, but big fan of Gerald's. Anything like that you want to do right now, Alex, the indications we've got out of Boston is that people are ready to take action and make a stand.
Well, I think definitely we need to have some demonstrations and stuff if people are being threatened not to have them. Because, if the Klan starts threatening to blow up black churches, if they march, I'm going to go march with the black folks like I've done before. And if the Hispanic Klan is threatening to kill people, it looks like I was threatened one time, death threatened, if I went to the Mexican Independence Day parade where they were going to promote Raza, and I went and got in everybody's face and bullhorned them. Like, we got those clips somewhere. It's pretty epic. So it looks like I may have to do that again because, I mean, this is getting to be too serious of a situation. William Geen, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Alex. Hope to be back soon.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to come back with Gerald Celente and more. I've got other news on Ebola and the economy that's broken at Infowars.com, but you should read that Infowars.com story that's up on DrudgeReport.com. 2 illegals charged in murder, a border agent, killed him in front of his family. And it's just absolutely disgusting what happened to this guy. And it just shows how vicious the situation is in Mexico, pouring over into our border. What a sadness. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there's a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted. Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, InfoWars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more homeland security while sticking the hands down on the pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch the assault Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level.